Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back again today with another one of its episodes, and oh boy, this one is one of those times that I have to choose one of my next builds. And what an adventure it is each time, guys. Although I have a medium-sized stash for my standards and I have a lot of options, my compulsive behavior always tends to get in the way, and I don't know what build to choose. I constantly find new projects, create new projects in my mind, and I am always having trouble to choose. This time I was in between three projects, to be honest with you. I wanted to enter a group build, the Recon group build that Joachim and Marcus are hosting, but I don't have the time, so I am going to skip the Recon group build this year. There is another group build that I wanna enter that hasn't started yet, so I need an in-between build, a quick and simple build, just straight out of the box, no diorama, no anything, just something to keep me occupied, and that's why I have chosen today's kit, because it serves this purpose. Then the in-between quick build purpose, to be honest with you guys. Nothing fancy. This is another kit that my wife has gifted to me last Christmas and I am really happy about it. I am really happy that in general my wife buys some kits to me. She's happy as well because she keeps me occupied this way, she keeps me in house and she keeps me in check, so it is a win-win situation. So what I have chosen, you guys will see in a second. So before I'll reveal it to you, sorry guys, forgot how to English, you all know the drill. Grab yourself a seat, be comfortable, crack the mandatory cold one or a hot brew, depending where you are in the world right now and what time it is, and let's see my choice and the unboxing of it. So, what's my choice that I was probably talking about in my intro? I don't know, I haven't filmed that intro yet. So, my choice is none other than the Land Rover 109 LWB from Italy in 1/35 scale and kit number 6508. I think that, correct me if I am wrong, you Land Rover fanatics, that this is the third series of the Land Rover vehicles, and I don't know a whole lot about them. I don't know why, I just don't have so much info. Land Rovers are not so common over here in Greece. They are lovely vehicles, I know, I admire them, but they are not so common. So, this will be my choice. Upon a quick search that I have done at the ScaleMate site, this kit is a rebox. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a rebox of a 1980s kit, once again from Italy. If I can find the original, the initial kit photo, I am going to add it somewhere in the screen. So this one was released in 2012 with some new parts, but the main thing comes from all the way back to the 80s, once again Italy mold. Now let's take a look at the box first. As you can see, we have a lovely depiction of the vehicle over here in the front as an I-4 military scheme This one was used in Bosnia in 1993, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a lovely scene, a lovely camo scheme, to be honest. Over here, except of the name of the kit, the kit number, the scale, it also states that we have decals for two versions, for two English versions of the vehicle, and that the figure that we see over here is not included. Now, at the sides of the box we have various advertisement for other Italian kits from all the three. I have done this one. This is the Pink Panther. This, if I remember correctly, is one of my first videos back in the day when I was making slideshows. On to the other side we have various information about the vehicle in English, in French, German, English, Italian, German, French. I don't have a clue. Spanish. This thing, I think that it is something. I don't have a clue. I'm not so good with with I cannot even remember the name. With flags, with flag recognition. Yeah, that's another thing that I am not so good. So, and over here at the back we have the two possible camo schemes. As I've said, the first one is the British Royal Army I formation in Bosnia 1993, and the British Royal Army Field Ambulance from 1984. I don't know, I don't have a clue which one I'm gonna try to attempt to do. We're gonna see. We also have color callouts, that it is none other than the Italian acrylic paints: flat green, gloss red, gloss orange, and flat black. For the guys that wanna have a closer look, here is. And that's it. That's all the information that we can find around the box. So, upon opening the box now, this box is a side opener, something that I hate, because I use boxes to store my sprues while I build, but anyway, it is what it is. We immediately get greeted by the decal sheet, instruction paper, the instruction leaflet, and a baggie containing all the sprues, which is another thing that I hate, but to Italia's defense, they have placed the clear sprue in a separate baggie inside the baggie, inside this baggie. So, okay, I'm gonna plainly say that's okay. So inside the baggie, except the clear sprue, I can spot another four sprues, two big ones and two small ones. Now, let me open the baggie, the baggies, get a little bit prepared, and I am going to give you a closer look of the kit contents. So, let's see where to start from. Okay, let's start from the small sprues first. So, with no particular order, here is the first one over. This is the sprue D. Let me grab a pointer. Let's do a more professional job. So, this is sprue D, and over here we have some Pioneer tools, front bumper, side window frames, and what looks to be part of the canvas cover that it is located at the back of the vehicle. I can see some minimum flash here and there at the parts. I can see mold marks okay, on the interior of the window frames, and onto the interior of the canvas cover. Okay, about the interior of the canvas cover I don't care so much, but those on the window frames may be a problem. I may need to attend that. Apart that, what else I have to state is that I don't like the canvas texture. Looks like a little bit weird, looks like, you know, a lot of tiny cuts upon the surface, which is not adequate detail for me when it comes to canvas. But okay, it is to be expected by a 1980s kit. Let me give you a closer look. I think that you guys can probably see the texture over here that I was talking about, and that's come on, focus darling. Sprue, our D sprue one side and the other side. So, one down, 4 to go, including the clear one. Now the next small sprue is sprue C. Over here we have the rear bumperets, if I am not mistaken. You know, the rear small, not small, the rear steps of the bumper, of the rear bumper. Oh my god, I've said rear 100 million times. Anyway, those things. We have the side mirrors, the canvas cover, the rear part of the canvas, and our windshield frame. Once again, the same weird texture onto the canvas cover and the canvas rear part. Detail on the side mirrors is good, and as you can see, the parts are littered with mold marks, injection mold marks. This is definitely gonna cause me a problem, and I will definitely have to take care of those mold marks. These ones, okay, as I've said, I don't care. I don't think that we will be able to take a good look at the track bed of our Rover when I finish it. Yeah, nothing more to note. This looks like a good sprue, and not so in need of cleanup sprue and parts. And let me give you a closer look, extremely zoomed. Once again, I think that you can see the weird texture that I am talking about. Nice detail onto our side mirrors. Oops, sorry. Now another thing that I don't like is the fact that they have molded on the window wipers. This is a little bit crappy because they could have better detail if they were molded separately, and they would protrude more, which is more realistic. But anyway, here is the inner side. Focus, darling. And that's it for sprue C. 2 down, 3 to go. I'm on fire, kinda. So, let's grab one of the big ones, one of the big sprues now. This is, oh come on, this is sprue B. Okay. And now over here, what do we have? We have, of course, road wheels and spare wheel, parts of the body. Over here we have front fenders, the track bed, the bonnet or hood, depends whenever you are, the rear fenders, the front grille. These two are parts of the rear of the vehicle, and this must be the engine bay, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, that's the engine bay. And this is the rear track bed. Those two are the doors of the vehicle. Okay, let me give a closer look. Oh, lovely. We have some lettering detail onto the tires. They are Avon tires. They also say Ranger and something else that I cannot read right now. If I will get closer to my ears, I would probably read it. Let me see. Yeah, some letters and some numbers. Okay, From a quick glance, there is quite a nice detail all over the sprue. As you can see, as I've said, we have lettering over here. We have the Land Rover logo over here onto the front grille. We have the Land Rover logo over here in one of the rear parts of the vehicle. In one, yeah. You know, this is the thing that it's on. I cannot describe it. I can definitely describe it in Greek, but not in English. I will get you guys confused, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, but as I've said, every surface is littered with nice and kinda crisp detail. Let's flip it. Track bed is free from mold marks, except of those two over here. It has some excess flesh over here at the corners, but nothing that we cannot easily take care. The track bed door is nicely detailed and free of mold marks. Wow, that was a surprise. The interior side, this one is the interior side of the doors, has some adequate detail. It is kinda crisp, works for me. Tires have some nice thread pattern, and the bolts are nicely molded and crisp. They should take washes nicely. Yeah, and the parts look, although the sprue looks a bit twisted, parts look solid, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, I can spot no further problems as we speak. Of course, don't forget, guys, that this is a quick glance. I will have a better opinion and a more in-depth after the completion of this build. And now let's give you a closer look of our base sprue. So let's zoom in, let's focus. Let's see if I can give you a better look over here. This is as best as I can. You can faintly see the lettering. This is a problem of my camera. They are crisp. And clean. You can spot them with bare eyes. Oh, come on. the rear fenders, the lower part of the truck bed, the hood, together with the truck bed door and the engine bay, the inner part of the doors, front fenders over here. This must be the firewall, and the road wheels. I was ready to say road wheels and tires for no reason. Now let's flip this puppy and give you a closer look from the other side. Truck bed is nicely detailed. We can leave it without the canvas top and still have a nice detail over here. Oh, sorry. Nice detail over here. Now, this side of those parts is none of your concern, to be honest, because those are parts that are going to be glued together, so you won't be able to see that side again, except of this part, which is the truck bed door, this one, and those two, which is the doors of the vehicle. So this one was sprue B. Onwards to our finer plastic sprue, not clear plastic. Ooh, and this one must be sprue A, if I am not mistaken, and if I can find the letter. Yep, it's over here. Sprue A. This one must be part of the old mold. I can tell from some of the details, like the seats over here, which are as plain as possible. We have the chassis over here. Here we have the leaf spring suspension system, and the shock absorber is molded on the leaf springs. Oh, that's kinda crappy, but it is what it is. What this is, I don't know. Looks like the oil pan of the vehicle. Let's zoom in a bit. This one looks like the oil pan of the vehicle. Looks like, I'm not sure. Don't take my word for granted. Those are various detailed parts that I cannot recognize this at this moment. This one is the rear diff, rear and front diff. Over here we have the main diff, or the transfer case. I remembered the name this time. We have the exhaust system. This, which I have no clue. This looks like a part of the engine. Of course, then no engine comes with this kit. This kit won't have any engine detail apart from parts like this one that give you the illusion that there is an engine inside there. This one must be a part of the firewall. Over here we have the dashboard, and here we have various interior detail like levers, gear shifting levers, handbrake, a steering wheel column, foot pedals, handles, etc., etc. Let me see if I can spot anything. Minimum flash in the majority of the parts. Detail is there, and it is enough, except the seats. God damn, those seats look so plain to my eyes. Look like wooden blocks. I don't know. Please manufacturers, give us seats that have some kind of detail, some kind of texture at least. Don't give us these plain little things that look like 6-year-olds were playing with them. Anyway, as I've said, I cannot complain enough, mainly because this kit is older than me. The original kit is older than me, but anyway. Yeah, nothing else to note. I cannot spot any mold mark in visible locations, except of these parts. This part I don't know yet what it is, so I cannot tell you if some mold marks from this side will cause us a problem. So, let's give you a closer look, an even closer look. Zoom in, focus. Chassis has some detail molded on. Various detail parts. I suppose that those two are the rear or front shock absorbers. I cannot tell. I think that those are the front shock absorbers, mainly because they will get paired with those two. Those two are the smaller leaf spring assemblies. So I suppose that the shorter leaf spring would be placed at the front of the vehicle, and the longer leaf spring would be placed at the rear. As I've said, some parts over here that I cannot recognize them. I am talking about all this stuff. I think that this may be this must be a part of the chassis, and this must be the rear bumper, but I'm not sure yet. So over here we have the transfer case, the front wheel axles probably, and the exhaust system. Moving upwards, we have the diffs, the unknown part, some detailed parts over here, dashboard. Let me give you a closer look, an even closer look of the dashboard. I can see no details on the dials. I suppose hopefully they will provide us with some decal to remedy the situation. And last parts of this sprue, whenever my camera wants to focus, will be the interior pieces over here that I was talking about, and the childish seats. So that's everything from the grey plastic sprues. Let's move on to the clear one. I am going to keep the baggy because the clear parts would be stored in there, because I'm gonna probably mess them up if I won't, leave them there. Now let's see how good the clear parts are. I can see no distortion, so they are thin at least. Nicely molded parts. This one has a black mark, although I have never opened the kit before. This one came with a black mark. I'll see. I may be able to remove it with some rubbing alcohol or something like that. Those two, I don't have idea for what they are used for. Those are must be the headlights. Those two must be the tail lights, and I suppose that those are indicators, if not fog lights. Anyway, we are gonna see. I don't have anything else to note about the clear parts. They look good, they don't distort, they are not thick to distort any detail, so that looks good. Let's give you a closer look. Very nice detail over here on 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, which I have no idea for what they are going to be used right now, but anyway. Very nice detail, the reeds all surrounding the clear parts over here. This should take paint nicely, and it would help me to give the clear parts the proper glass look, quote unquote glass look. And that's everything. That's at least all the sprues included in the kit. Let me store the clear one, the clear sprue. Better safe than sorry. And now let's move on to the decals. Okay, plain and simple decal sheet. Not a lot to be expected, as you can probably guess, because we are talking about a military vehicle, so it's supposed to have a license plate, the unit markings, and this, which I have no idea. I suppose division markings, etc., etc. And over here we have the crosses for the, crosses for the ambulance, and some license plates. So no decal for the dashboard, which is kinda a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. Decals look thin to my eye, at least. I may be wrong, but I may be correct as well. I will be able to talk about them more whenever I apply them to the vehicle, but from what I can tell, they are going to be really thin, and they look great to my eyes as well for decals of a 20-year-old kit, a kit from the 80s, sorry. Last but not least will be the instructions sheet. This is a fold out piece of paper. Another thing that I hate, mainly because I prefer booklets, but anyway, once again, it is what it is. I won't complain a lot about it. I am just stating that I hate it. It is a personal preference. So, first page, we are greeted by some info about the vehicle: English, Italian, German, French, Spanish, and Netherlands. So the flag in the beginning was Netherlands. Okay, so let me bring the leaflet closer to the camera. You can freeze frame it over there and read some historical info about the vehicle. And that's everything located at the first page of the instructions. Now over here on the second page we have things to pay attention over here on the corner, and then we have a sprue map with parts that are not going to be used. Okay, looks like we're never gonna learn what those parts on screw A were, mainly because we're not gonna use them. We are not gonna learn but what those parts on our clear screw are. We are not gonna use them as well, but anyway. So screw map, and let's start from, if I will be able to fold it properly and not make a mess and not make a fuss. Let's start from step number 1. Plain and simple, we are going to start with the chassis assembly. And as I've said, the shorter leaf spring go to the front. Boom, take that. Step number 2, we attach the transfer case onto the chassis together with the exhaust system and this chassis rail over here. You can see the sub-assembly. Step number 3 right now. More job needed to be done on the chassis. More chassis rails. Over here we have the front shock absorbers, and then we move on to the rear. We have the rear diff and the rear leaf suspension system assembly. Now we continue to step number 4. Here we have the steering rack, the front wheel axles, and I can guess that if we play it right, we may have movement onto the steering of the vehicle. I don't know yet. We're gonna see. Don't take my word for granted once again. And then we move on to step number 5. So upon step number 5, we have, of course, the road wheels. We attach the engine bay assembly, the engine bay quote-unquote assembly onto the chassis. Then we attach the front grille onto this thing, onto the engine bay quote-unquote assembly. Then we attach the firewall and the windshield frame together with the windshield. And keep in mind, here we have something indicating the correct positioning, the angle that we need to attach our windshield. Plain and simple, instructions are not crowded, so you can read them nicely so far. Then upon step number 6, we start working on the interior of the vehicle. As you can see, here we attach the various gear shifting levels, the foot pedals and dashboard, steering column and steering wheel. And that's it for step number 6. Now on to step number 7. More interior assembly. Here we have the attachment of the seats, and that's all. And the attachment of this thing. Sorry guys, I was probably out of frame. The attachment of the seats and the attachment of this level. And we then move to step number 8. So upon step number 8, we have the attachment of the front fenders and doors of the vehicle, driver's side door at least. We move on to step number 9. So step number 9, we attach the track bed together with this piece of sheet metal that is in between the track bed and the interior. Step number 10, we attach the hood, the spare wheel, the front bumper, the passenger side door, and the clear parts like headlights, etc., etc. So keep in mind over here at the corner it states to remove this one if we are doing the B version of the vehicle. And that's everything about step number 10. Step number 11. Right now we are starting to put sides on the truck bed, and of course the door, that from what I can see, if we play this one right as well we may have some movement. Oh, okay. Step number 12 is optional parts that we need to attach if we want to keep the truck bed door open. So keep that in mind. That's another great option that Italy provides us with. Props to that, to Italy. Then we move on to step 13, and here we have side mirrors, side rear view mirrors, I can't remember. Okay, rear view mirrors, that's how I'm gonna call them. Then we have the attachment of the steps over here at the rear bumper, and the assembly of the canvas cover of the truck bed. And on to step 14, we have the attachment of the Pioneer tools onto the truck bed door. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's it. And then we move on to the last page, which is none other than the color callouts. Version A for British Royal Army I-4 mission, Bosnia 1993, once again. And version B, British Royal Army Field Ambulance 1984. Both camo schemes are familiar, if not identical. Let's see, almost identical. I don't know yet which one I am going to depict. I have no diorama or vignette or anything planned to my mind for this vehicle, so I yet don't know anything. I'm just gonna jump into the build, and that's it. That's everything included inside the box. Now, upon a quick look that I gave this thing, looks solid to my eyes. As I've said, I'm not expecting a lot from a kit of its age, but it looks really solid to me. Detail is there. It may be a little bit soft. It may have some mistakes, like, as I've said, the window wipers molded onto the window frame. This could be done separately, so we can have more detail in both parts, but anyway, it is what it is. Now I am going to have a better opinion whenever I finish this build. So guys, as I've said, this is my choice for our next project. This hopefully will be a quick build, because this is what I need it to be, an in-between quick build. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, we will probably start working on this puppy. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for the rest of the project. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to all my subscribers, old and new ones. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. Now, for the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. You guys, I hope that you like what I do. If so, you guys all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Daemon signing out.